You are listening to Mad Chat with Chad and Matt.
Alright, everybody. Welcome back to Mad Chat. This is the podcast where the two of us chat madly. Chad, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm pretty good. A lot of stuff has happened in the world since we last made a podcast. So, before we get started, do you have anything that you were wanting to talk about today? Because I got a few things. Oh, Fortnite? No, not happening. What else you got?
Well, I just found out that the Battlefield 5 beta begins on September 6th.
Interesting. Are you playing it?
Well, I'm a filthy, dirty bastard, and I subscribe to EA Access, so I get it for free, so I'm going to try it.
Oh, really? That's interesting. I didn't know you had that.
The only reason I did it was because Madden came out on PC for the first time in like 10 years, and I didn't want to spend $60 on Madden to, because there's a good chance it was going to suck. So yeah. I spent like $15 to do like because they have like two different subscription models. Mm-hmm. They got like the $5 and the $15. And the $15, they have like basically all their new games you can get. You can play them with all the DLC and everything. And you have unlimited playtime. If you do the $5 a month, you get 10 hours. So
10 hours?
Yeah, 10 hours like a preview of the new games. And then they have their vault games, which you can play as long as you want. But if you do the pro version or whatever, you get to play their new games. And so I was like, well, this was coming out, Madden was coming out, the new FIFA was coming out, and Battlefield 5 was coming out. So I was like, I'll just hang on this for like 2 months. It'll be like $30 instead of spending $180 on 3 different games.
Yeah, so I mean, it makes sense. I don't know. Like, it seems like every company is going to come out with their own pass or whatever.
Subscription
I'm like,
service. Yeah,
it's like, when does this shit end? But I don't know. It was a good idea, at least for a couple months, to try out these new games coming out.
Yeah.
But have you heard all the shit going down with the EA and Battlefield? Like, people are not happy. I think it said the pre-order sales are 85% less of what they thought it would be.
Oh, well, I'm not surprised since they've completely gone off the rails and tried to... Okay, so this was literally a meme, like, 2 years ago? Like, why don't we have a disabled female character as the lead? Like, that's what we want now, and that's what they decided to do in a World War II shooter.
But Chad, saying this makes you a sexist. Don't you understand that?
Yes, I understand.
You hate women. I
just hate them.
What I think is hilarious is like the people who are saying that Battlefield 5 is failing because all the gamers out there are just sexist and they hate women. I'm just like, no, you're stupid. That's not what's going on. I think the biggest backlash was because the people at EA basically were just insulting the fans.
Oh yeah, they were. They were just like, well, fuck you. Don't buy it if you don't want it. And people are like, okay.
You uneducated peasant. Like, all right.
And that's also why I went with the subscription service, because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to buy Battlefield 5.
Yeah.
But I wanted to play it, but you can't really... I mean, I guess you could pirate it, but I'm not going to pirate a fucking 90 gigabyte game. So
yeah.
I was just going to try it and then be done with it, because normally whenever a new game comes out like that, like Call of Duty or something, you'll put maybe 20 hours into it and you just kind of get tired of it. Because, I mean, first-person shooters over the past, 15 years have been pretty much the same.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of all the games I've bought in recent history where I was super excited and I bought them on release, or I even pre-ordered, and then I played them for less than 10 hours and then never touched them again.
The last first-person shooter that I've played that I spent considerable amount of time on, I would say, would be Black Ops 2.
Yeah. And
now,
oh god.
If
that was like 2011 or 12 or something?
If they would remaster Black Ops 2, I would 100% buy it. That was in my opinion, that was the best Call of Duty ever. It's not my favorite, but I think it was the best. It was the most fun.
Yeah, that was my favorite. I love Black Ops 2. Did you know that, did you know? I'm on an episode of Did You Know Gaming. Did you know that Master Chief Collection is coming to Game Pass in September, and they're going to start rolling out these huge updates. Like, they're basically redoing the entire game. It's fucking crazy. When
are they going to roll that out?
Within the next couple months. I think they're doing some testing with people on Xbox, like the Insider, whatever it's called. I don't know. I tried to get into it, but I don't know how to download the new version of Halo. So I am a Xbox Insider member, and I'm in the group of people who should be able to play the new version, but I don't know how. So I'm still trying to figure that out. But I've seen screenshots and clips of it. It looks pretty cool. So they're basically redoing the whole fucking thing, and like okay, brand new. Let's try again. So I'm pretty excited for that.
That'll be awesome.
And it'll be in Game Pass, so a lot of people will have it. I fucking love Game Pass. And I was just kind of shitting on subscription services a little bit a few minutes ago, but god damn it, Game Pass is so good. So yeah. I definitely I understand why people would want to do subscriptions. I just have so many.
Well, it's just way cheaper. Like,
yeah.
Just because there's really no resale value in digital games, and so the best way to get your bang for your buck is doing a subscription service.
That's very true.
Because a subscription service, put it this way, subscription services are dirt cheap compared to what renting video games used to be.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, you go Redbox, you could go, before Redbox, Blockbuster, it was like
Gamefly, Jesus Christ, Gamefly.
Yeah.
I hated Gamefly. $15 to $20 a month, and it takes a week to get you a fucking game, and it's never the one you fucking want. That's why.
No, it's like number 6 on your list.
I wasted so much money on Gamefly for like 6 months. I would never get the game I wanted, and it wouldn't even be like at the top 5 of my list. And I'm like, you fuckers can't buy a few extra copies so that more people can have the games they want? Fuck you. I'm leaving your bullshit service.
Okay, and speaking of Gamefly, I haven't had a Gamefly subscription in probably 4 years. Mm-hmm. Randomly, out of the blue, like 3 days ago, Gamefly emailed me and said, "We miss you."
I got one of those too.
Yeah, you got it too? I was like, oh no.
Like, you guys are having some financial troubles, I guess, since you're emailing people that haven't been subscribed to you for years.
Maybe if you guys weren't such a damn ripoff, it would be worth it. But, God, it's just not worth it.
Yeah. Jeez.
Especially with these subscription services.
So I've been trying to do this thing to where I don't buy new games until I finished an older one. But last night, I couldn't help myself. Cyberpunk 2077 went available for pre-order, and I bought a copy for $50 because it was like 20% off. So with tax, it was around $50 to $50 something. So I got a cheaper than new price on it, and I've got it pre-ordered. So of course that does make me a transphobe for supporting.
Oh, so you've seen all the news surrounding that so far?
That's so stupid. Literally, all they said was, "Did you just assume their gender?" It's like a humongous dad joke.
It is.
You remember Humongous, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's basically
Humongous
exactly what it
what?
was. And the people are screeching to the heavens like banshees that the people at CD Projekt Red are fucking transphobes. Like, let's calm down a little bit. There are actual people out there like beating and murdering gay people and trans people, and you're just like crying foul over some stupid dad joke.
So let's did you see what Eurogamer did?
No.
They had like Gamescom. They had exclusive pass basically to give questions to CD Projekt Red about Cyberpunk 2077. And good old Tom Phillips over at Eurogamer got to be the guy that asked the questions. Mm-hmm. So he asked he asked 7 or 8 questions. Okay, the first one was a decent question, and it was asking about if there was a certain option about fighting this gang that was in the demo. Well, it didn't matter what your choice was. If you chose to fight them or didn't choose to fight them, in the end, you end up fighting them. And so he asked whether or not they're going to change that up or if that was just for the demo. And the guy said that the mission will appear in the regular game, but they'll probably make changes to it. So it's still kind of up in the air. And then he goes off the rails with his questions. He had one question about your game, like about how the game works. And then he wants to know if you can play as multiple genders. And then he wants to know...
So far, not too far gone, you know.
Okay. And then, yeah, well, that's just fair. Like, okay.
That's fair.
Like, yeah. And then he asks if the options to play as a male or female... Okay, this is... I asked the question of the option in to play as a male or female character. If someone wanted to choose a character that was gender fluid, how would you portray that? Okay.
It's a role-playing game. You portray it however you wish.
Okay. I didn't write that down. This is his second question. I didn't write that down when watching the demo, but are they labeled male and female?
God, dude, just chill.
And if we're going on fourth question. Beyond aesthetics, could you choose to have a different pronoun? Is that option in the game?
Oh my God. Just let the people make a game. Please.
I know plenty of fans that would appreciate that. And after all, you have the main character, which that name doesn't specify a gender. And the guy was like, yeah, well, exactly. That's why we chose V, because it works for male and it works for female. You know, we thought that would be a good option. The guy interviewing cuts him off, and it says like ... for gender fluid as well. And the developer's like, yeah.
Like, yeah, dude, sure. I mean, it's a role-playing game. Do what you want.
And so the developer's basically trying to tell him that the male and female is the body type. So, like, whether or not you believe gender's on a spectrum or not, there's a male body type and there's a female body type. That's just the sex. Like, those are things. So,
well, it's like, let's fucking relax a little bit and stop trying to, like, pressure these devs into pleasing every single person out there, because it's never going to happen. I wish CD Projekt Red would have never apologized for that tweet they made, because that just emboldens all these fucking crybabies to just keep on doing what they're doing. And it's like no one cares, no one gives a fuck what your pronoun is. If you want to be called whatever, fine, it's okay. Just stop like jamming it down our throats and then calling us like evil or whatever when we either don't understand or just don't care. You know, like, I don't care. It's fine.
That's what I always just do. I always thought that was the goal. Like, whenever we were growing up, is
fine.
Get out of our bedroom. You're not supposed to care whether we're gay or straight and you're right. I don't care.
I don't care. Do whatever you want.
And that's where I'm at. Like, someone's like, "Oh, he's gay." I'm like, so?
Yeah, cool. Oh, this person's trans. That's fine.
That literally tells me nothing about this person. Like,
yeah, it's like, that shouldn't be your whole identity, you know?
No, it's not your personality.
You know,
your
get a personality going, you know, be a nice person, be cool. Stop screaming into everyone's ear whenever something isn't exactly how you want it. You know, let's just relax a little bit and play some fucking games and have fun. Like, let's just stop with all this nonsense. And here's what I really don't like about that guy interviewing the dude. Like, you have any idea how many people would fucking kill to be in that position, to be able to interview those people?
And they would ask questions about the fucking game. Yeah, you know, the thing that people want to know about.
Yeah, those people are making a game, one of the most anticipated games of all time, and you're wasting your questions on something stupid like how many pronouns will be in the game. Like, who gives a fuck? Seriously, ask about the gameplay. Ask about the features that are going to be in the game that affect the gameplay, that affect the players. And, oh, God, I don't... so many people would have loved to be in that position to interview that guy.
I guarantee you there are more trans people and gay people that play the games that don't give a fuck about any of that stuff.
They don't give a fuck.
Because the people that do care don't play games.
No, they just don't. They don't, like, those people fucking over at Polygon and at Kotaku and shit, like writing hit pieces on CD Projekt Red, calling them transphobic. It's like, they never said anything transphobic. They don't care one way or another if a person's trans, gay, straight, black, white. They don't give a fuck. They just want to sell their game. They just want to make their game and make people happy, and that's it.
And a lot of people have come to find out that games journalists aren't gamers. And I don't remember who did a survey. I remember hearing about the survey that only 3% of gamers trust gaming magazines and gaming websites on whether or not to make a purchase on a game.
That's true. When I usually go to streamers or YouTubers whenever I'm absolutely unsure about whether I want a game or not. I don't fucking go anywhere else. There are a few YouTubers I trust, and that's basically it. And then I look at streamers to see what the gameplay is like, because you never know. Sometimes the trailers or whatever don't reflect on what the actual gameplay is.
Oh, God. Sorry. Got something in my throat.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So that's what I do. I don't think I've actually read a review from a games journalist in years. I mean, they're all... you have to worry about them being plagiarized nowadays. Did you hear that story?
I heard about it, yeah.
So let's just start from the beginning. There's this guy, he started out as a YouTuber. His name was Filip Miucin. And he was doing YouTube stuff. He was covering Nintendo things. And he was just doing his thing, gaining an audience over time. And he gets noticed by the guys over at IGN. And they're like, we like your stuff. We want to bring you on to IGN and have you work for us. So this is a great opportunity for this guy. So he's like, he goes on his YouTube channel. He's like, guys, I've got this super exciting news. I'm going to IGN. I want to thank all you guys for helping me get here. Everybody was excited for him, a bunch of positive feedback. So he's been over at IGN for a while, and he was actually one of the main Nintendo editors over there. So he was sort of important. And he was the host of the Nintendo voice chat podcast over there at IGN. And he was working on some reviews. He was getting a lot of stuff going. And it comes time for him to review the game Dead Cells. So it's a pretty big game coming out. Like, a lot of people are excited about it. It's not like a AAA. It's more of an indie game, but it's really, really good, and a lot of people like it. So they're excited for the review. But I guess he didn't want to take the time to write his own reviews, so he grabs one from a guy off of YouTube that has like 10,000 subscribers at the time, and he's like, okay, I'll just do what this guy did. But he didn't only plagiarize it. He did it like second for second, topic for topic, nearly word for word exactly what this guy did, except switching a few words around here and then. But when you play them side by side, like, there is no doubt in anyone's mind that this guy stole this review from this guy.
So he Carlos Mencia'd that dude.
Yes, he did. He jacked the weirdest thing is, like, he didn't even change up the time stamps of the topic. So this person would talk about the fluidity of the combat at 45 seconds. So would he. This person talked about how, you could do speed runs if you go through a certain door. He did that at like 1 minute and 11 seconds, and so did Philip.
So like, the videos were basically the same.
He was like at like 3 minutes and 5 seconds. He was like, the only downfall is that the earlier parts of the game are a little bit repetitive due to having to start over when you die or something like that. And it was almost word for word, second for second, exactly where the other guy had put his talking point. And it's like, come on, dude, like. You couldn't have tried a little bit harder to make it seem like you wrote it. But the thing is, like, he got caught and then he doubled down. He's like, it was not intentional. So, I'm happy for this guy. I'm glad he's doing well. Keep doing what you're doing. And then he starts shit talking all the people that were saying that he had plagiarized. And he's like, I guess a guy from Kotaku, one of their higher up guys, who like, I don't like Kotaku, but this dude like if he wants to find something out, he will dig and he will find it. So he basically called out the entire internet. It's like, if you find anything else that I plagiarized, let me know. So within the next couple of days, like a dozen or more instances of him plagiarizing over the past few years were brought to light. And it's just like, this guy's been at it for a while. I don't know how he didn't get caught sooner. Yeah,
That's hilarious.
No one realized it. Like I personally saw and read through 5 of them, or 4 or 5 of them. But there are more on the list. I didn't even look through them all. I'm just like, okay, I was going to try to give this guy the benefit of the doubt for the first one, but god damn it.
How much of an asshole do you have to be to call everyone else out on the internet?
Seriously, just don't say anything or apologize. Or just
I guarantee you, if he would apologize and said, "I'm sorry, I was just being lazy. I a lot of shit on my plate.
I was stressed. I had a lot on my plate, and I made a huge mistake. And I know you guys don't trust me, but I'll try my best to make it up to you. And I'm really sorry to the guy that I stole that review from. I'm really sorry to IGN. Something like that would have been good. But he was just like, it was all unintentional. I don't want to steal from anyone. All my work is my own. It's all my own. And if you find anything else, please let me know. Like, you stupid motherfucker.
Oh God! And he had to know that he had all these skeletons in his closet, and then he just opened up the door and just let the FBI walk right in.
Yeah, he unlocks the door.
Look on his face, like, they ain't gonna find nothing.
Meanwhile, there's a dead body lying on his floor. Like, ooh, shit! Forgot to clean that up.
Oops. Well, that's one thing about the internet, man. The internet doesn't forget.
No, you can't do something like that. You can't tell people, like, hey, fuck you, by the way, if you find anything. Like, you don't do that.
You don't piss off the internet. You don't invite people to dig through your internet history. That's a bad idea.
It's like oh God. It's like what's his face, Mundane Matt, who was going around flagging everybody who said anything bad about him. And then they're like, oh, you didn't flag us? Well, just show us your history. And he's like, no. No, what? It's like, okay, so you were going around flagging everyone. Why were you over here talking a big game saying that you had nothing to hide? It's like...
How did that story even break? Because I've heard about that. I never really watched Mundane Matt.
I haven't really watched him a lot either. I've seen a couple videos of his, but I wasn't subscribed to him. Basically, I don't know the whole backstory, but because I don't know what people were saying about him, but they would like shit talk him or give him shit, and he was like getting tired of it. And then he would just go around flagging people's channels that would talk about him. He had Google alerts for his name, so whenever somebody would make a video about him and have his name in the title, he would get alerted, and he'd flag it and get it taken down, or have them have a strike. And he would do this to channels that uploaded videos or that would focus on live streaming, because when you get flagged on YouTube, you can't live stream for a certain amount of time. So he was fucking with people's like income. So just because he couldn't handle people's bad opinion about him. And what's really interesting, what really was crazy about it, is that he got big because Anita Sarkeesian censored him, like had his channel flagged and shut down a long time ago whenever she was big and people were talking about her. So it's like, it's a huge hypocritical move for him to go around flagging all these channels. And he probably flagged hundreds of videos, because at some point I saw a clip of the live stream where people had him in this live stream because he flagged their stream, and he came on and he's like, no, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. I was doing something else. And then someone's like, okay, you could prove it. You could show us your report history. Just go to youtube.com/report history. Take a screenshot and show us that you didn't flag these videos. And then he went quiet for like 30 minutes. He was fucking around and wasting time. But then eventually he shared the screen, and it turns out he was actually doing it. So
oh, no.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. And then he refused to apologize. So I think that was a big thing. Like, if you fuck up on the internet, you must apologize, because people are going to find out that you fucked up.
They will
like,
definitely Liam Neeson from taking you. They will find you.
They will
ruin you.
So I don't know what's gonna happen with this guy. I really don't know. Like,
I'm assuming his channel's dead because I went there because I follow Rags on YouTube and he did a video on him, and so I remember Mundane Matt. I don't remember much about him. I never really like was into his videos or anything, but I went through like his like recent 4 or 5 videos. And
they're being downvoted to hell. Yeah, they're
for like.
Oh god, if
it was
something like that would ever happen to me, I don't think I'd ever make a video on YouTube ever again. If I was trying to do that as a job, and then something like this happened, and then every video you make, you just get 90% downvotes, and then people shit talking you in the comments, like ugh.
And as soon as you disable that like and like ratio button, and you keep your comments up, you're getting hammered. Or either or if you do both, they'll fucking find you on Twitter.
People will just make a subreddit about you, and every video you make, they're gonna like have comments, and like it's sort of like the Total Biscuit situation. Before he died, he's like, okay, I'm not gonna deal with comments. I'm not gonna deal with ratings. If you guys want to comment about my video, I appreciate it, but you can go do it over at Reddit. Because he had cancer and he was trying. He didn't want to deal with people shit talking him. He wanted to spend the last, couple years he had with his family. So he disabled comments for that reason. So people will just go somewhere else to talk about you. It's just like they'll send you emails. They'll make a subreddit post. Like you can't escape it. So no. And what he did. The weirdest thing is like he gave this sort of half-assed non-apology on Tumblr. I just... What? What are you doing? Like, you have a YouTube channel. That's your main area where you talk to people, you talk about stuff. Do it there. Make a real apology there. I don't know. Or, just stop. Just stop whatever you're doing completely. He's going to have to do something else, I think.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. He's going to have to...
Kind of like EA. EA, you're going to have to stop talking. Like, just fire whoever your PR people are and just don't ever talk. Just make games and never speak again, EA. Like, because you're not good at it. You just piss off your fans. Hey, you guys, if you think that there weren't disabled women on the front lines and guys wielding katanas fighting tanks during World War II, you're just uneducated. Don't buy the game. Okay. Fucking samurai ninjas with robot arms apparently were on the front lines.
If they would have decided to do an alternate reality World War II,
just say
all of that.
Yeah, just say, guys, I understand your frustrations, your confusion, but this is an alternate reality take, and we want to do something a little different, a little bit fun. Something a little less realistic. So that's why we're going in this direction. That's all they had to say, and people would be like, all right, whatever. That would have been the end of it.
They called it like the most authentic Battlefield to date.
Well, it's like, decide what you're doing and go with it, but don't flip-flop and then don't insult your customers. And then, don't give Patrick Soderlund the $20 million bonus, and then he leaves anyways. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, hold on. I just typed in Google real quick. I put Battlefield 5 most authentic because I was trying to find that quote. The first thing that popped up was The Verge. Battlefield 5 fans who failed history and are mad the game has women in it. Has anyone here read a book?
Yeah, you fucking idiot. Haven't you read a book? Piece of shit, you sexist motherfucker.
My God.
Read a goddamn book, you piece of shit. Read a goddamn
book. See, and this is why people don't like game journalists, because they talk down to their customer base, their consumer base. They call them dumb, they call them names, and they act like they're better than everybody else.
Oh, I saw an amazing article about Dark Souls. Okay, Dark Souls, the game that came out like fucking 9 years ago. Mm-hmm. It's not in the news anymore. It's just a game, a beloved game people love.
Which one? The first one?
This is about the first one. Well, it kind of goes through all, because you could do this. You leave messages for people in these games, but it all got started. Mainly in the first one, people would leave funny, goofy messages for people. And you have to get creative with it because you can't just write whatever you want. There's a list of words that you can use and phrases that you put together. So there's this character in the game. She's like a huge character, and she gives you the ability to travel between, like, sort of fast travel. Once you get to her, she gives you this item. And she's one of the main, like, goddesses of the area. She's very big in the lore of the game. But for whatever reason, she's giant, and she's sitting in a room, and she's just got cleavage hanging out. And that's just, it's funny. The messages people would leave, they would say things like, amazing chest ahead. Like, instead of like a treasure chest, it's her chest. And, you know, just funny little goofy messages like that. Try two hands. That was another one. Try two hands before you go into the room with Guinevere in it. Like, just funny. There are different ones you could choose. I don't know all of them. It's been a long time, but there was this article that somebody wrote getting pissed off. Like, okay, here's what it said. The Dark Souls games are great, but their players are sexist, or there's a problem with sexist players leaving messages. And it's just like, okay, can you fucking chill out? Like, they went on a 2-page rant about how this is a problem in the game. Like, messages that you don't have to read. You don't have to go anywhere near. You don't have to interact with them. You don't have to read them. Nothing. And they're not even like, you know, grab her by the pussy. You know, it's not actual explicit sexist messages. It's just people trying to be funny and get creative and make people laugh. But apparently you can't fucking joke about anything anymore.
Well, that's what we kind of found out with, like, bully hunters. Like, they've got to go out of their way to make sexist, like, gamers.
Yeah, they had to lie about things happening in a live stream that was completely scripted and super awkward, by the way.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, so
yeah, it was fucking horrible. It's like, and what's really funny is, like, the first comment on that article, the very first one is like, "This is fucking ridiculous." It's like, I don't leave these messages, and I don't think they're funny, but to go on to write a 2-page dissertation about why it makes the gamer sexist is just stupid. You know, fucking do anything else with your life. Which is what I was thinking. Like, I was laughing reading it, but I'm like, this is an article on Kotaku. You guys are trying to be taken seriously, and you're calling people who write stupid juvenile jokes sexist. They're not sexist. They're making a dumb joke because it's funny, because you can maneuver these words around a certain way and make it say something dumb. They're just having fun, and you guys can't handle people having fun if it's not super clean, all-inclusive humor, which is not funny at all. Like, degrading humor, like, it's funny. It's fun to just, like, talk shit to people and say crass things, you know?
These would have been the same people that, like, 60 years ago, when Lenny Bruce was, like, the first comedian to like, break the boundaries. They're the same people that would be the ones wanting him to go to jail. Because he would go to jail for some of the stuff he said on stage. So,
oh, God, yeah.
This is like coming back 50 years later or whatever. It's weird. You know? You can't say shit anymore.
People can't fucking say anything. Like, CD Projekt Red can't tweet, "Oh, did you just assume their gender?" Now they're transphobes and they hate all transgender people. People can't leave a message saying "amazing chest ahead." Oh, no, now you're a sexist. You hate women. You're objectifying all women. Like, just fucking chill out.
Well, Anita Sarkeesian can't stand the Mario franchise.
Of course she can't.
Because, you know, Princess Peach is a helpless princess, so can't have that.
God. Yeah, there can't be any characters, any female characters at all that aren't the main character, and that, you know, women can't ever be rescued again in a game.
You know what's weird to me?
It's sexist.
They always scream about toxic oh my god, I can't even speak. Toxic masculinity. So they screech about that, about how Princess Peach needs to be up front kicking ass. So they want their women in games to be more masculine, but they scream about toxic masculinity. So it doesn't even make sense, because they want the female to act like the male that's the toxic guy.
Well, no, it's the thing is they will always cry foul no matter what. Their job is to be victims. Like, they are always victims. They will always have something to complain about, which is why these companies can't, and other people just in general you can't take them seriously, because that's when you give them power. You empower them to keep being fucking crybaby victims, and it's never going to end.
The guys that made Kingdom Come, they just basically said, fuck you.
I bought that game instantly as soon as I saw that shit happening. They're like, no, fuck you. This is a historical take. We're trying to be realistic. Stop. It has nothing to do with race. It just so happens that at this point in time, in this area of Europe, they were just all white. Sorry. If we were making a game set in Africa, everybody would be, if it's in the middle of Africa, they'd all be black. If it's in a Japanese game, they'd all be Japanese. If it was set in China during the time when they were, building the wall and fucking the goddamn Mongolians were trying to kill everyone, everybody would be Asian. Like, fucking calm down.
Like,
oh, God.
I
hate these people. Fuck.
I know. They're ruining gaming, or they're trying to, at least. The first Gamergate failed,
and they don't play games, and that's the thing. Like, they don't play games. They're just trying to shove their agenda into everybody's.
They're going to go the way, if gamers and people are complacent, they're going to go the way of Star Wars.
Because here's the thing: I've recently started playing. I recently played through in entirety a game called Child of Light, and in that game you play as a female, and I didn't give a shit because narratively it made sense. She was a princess, and she dies in the game, and she gets sent to another realm, and you have to fight through all the enemies and you find your way back trying to save your realm or whatever. And it was a really good game. I actually 100%ed it on the achievements, and I spent 2 days playing it, and I didn't care at all that I couldn't identify with the character. I did identify with the character because there were moments when I felt like, I was going through something that the character might have been going through. And also, it was just a fun game, and it was well written, very well written. And I've also recently started playing Assassin's Creed Origins. There's no white people in that game.
That's the one that's set in Africa, right?
It's set in Egypt. So, everybody's got darker skin. They've all got they've got the accent that goes along with it. And if everybody was white, I would be like, that doesn't make sense.
It's kind of weird, though, that there's no white people in it because
there might be some. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far into it, so there might be some lighter-skinned people in it.
I don't think there is, though, because I think there were some people that were complaining that, hey, you don't have any Greeks there, because, like...
Yeah, I don't know.
The reason why
Alexandria
is called Alexandria is because of Alexander the Great. Like, that wasn't a city
before he came. It could just be the time period before they got there, Yeah, I don't think it is, though, because I think Alexandria is actually in the game. I'll get back to you on whether or not there are 0% white people in that game. But either way, it's not really bothering me because it's still, so far it's well written, and I'm actually liking the game. I don't usually love Assassin's Creed games, but I've liked the past couple. So, and also Megan played through this game and she fucking loved it, and I'm just like, okay, I'll give it a shot. So, yeah, it's pretty good, and I'm not going to complain that there's not every race and every sexuality and every gender, and there's no cyborgs in it. I'm not going to complain because it's trying to be as accurate as it can, and it's trying to tell a good story. And so far, it's doing that, so I'm not going to whine about it.
You know what game had 0 criticisms that you could only play as a woman?
What?
Senua's Sacrifice. Yeah,
that's right.
Everyone loved that game that I know of. They fucking loved that game.
And Microsoft bought the studio. Good for them. And they also said they're not going to tell them what to do. They're just going to give them money and let them do whatever the fuck they want.
And that
also is good news.
And that, to me, proves that gamers don't care about sex or the character.
We really don't give a fuck.
If you're going to be doing historical things, they want their games to be historical. Or come out explicitly as fantasy. Yeah.
Be transparent and say, hey, this is just our story we want to tell. It's not super serious. It's not historically accurate. Or say, hey, we're trying to be serious. We're trying to be accurate. So let that...
I mean, you got...
Let that be what it is.
Sacrifice, that game did extremely well. both of the Tomb Raiders that got rebooted done extremely well.
Oh god, yes.
I love those 2 games. Those are some of the best games
out. Holy fuck! Did you know the new Spider-Man game is coming out on the 7th of September?
They just did a thing on E3 about it. I didn't know it was coming out that soon.
Yep, it's like less than 2 weeks away, and I'm freaking out. I'm fucking flipping out.
I don't have a PlayStation, so I can't play it.
Oh my god, dude! I will not.
It looks really good.
It looks so good. I've seen a lot of gameplay videos on it. It looks insanely good. I'm anticipating. Like, I'm probably gonna like that game more than I will like Red Dead Redemption 2. Honestly,
that's a high bar.
You don't understand. I'm such a huge Spider-Man fan, and I've been waiting for like a really good Spider-Man game for a long time because it's been a while since they've had one. And like this game, it looks like. Well, maybe they haven't ever, but if they have, it was like PS1, PS2 days.
I mean, they've never had a good Superman game because I remember playing the Superman game on the Nintendo 64 and that piece of shit.
Yep.
God, that was one of the worst games ever.
I heard Rocksteady was gonna make a Superman game after Batman games, but it was canceled or something. I don't know.
It just seems like it would be really hard to do a Superman game because you're invincible.
He's got all these powers. You gotta. It's weird, like, to get the gameplay mechanics right, and also make it seem like it's a good Superman game.
The only way I could see it happening is if, like, somehow it takes place on Krypton or something to where you're not invincible all the time. Because if it takes place on Earth, you're pretty much invincible all the time. Unless they come with some story mechanic like I don't even know the villains in that, but they surround the Earth with like Krypton.
Lex Luthor puts a Krypton shield or Kryptonite shield around the Earth or something.
Yeah, that
weakens you. I don't know. Surely it could be done, but yeah, it was canceled. So who knows? We're never gonna have it. So whatever. I mean, that's all I had for today. You got any closing words?
I'm ecstatic that Fallout 4 does not feature microtransactions for the perk cards. That's pretty awesome. So there's no
Fallout
pay-to-win
76?
feature. Yep. There is no pay-to-win features.
Oh, God. I really think I'm going to like that game.
I do, too.
It's just going to be one of those games that I'll throw on whenever I'm bored, and I'll just fucking run around and kill shit. And with the perk systems, how it is, you can just... Today, I want to try a character that blows shit up. Okay, let me throw on my cards. Oh, actually, today now I want to be a stealthy character. Okay, let me throw on those cards. It's just going to be really easy to swap your playstyle on the fly depending on what you want to do. You can play with your friends. You can kill giant monsters. It's just going to be a good time.
Yeah, it looks like it's just going to be fun. And the last thing I want to say is I saw this meme and it cracked me up. And it had some peasant from Skyrim with like a scared look on his face. And it says, when the Dragonborn enters the city and quick saves real fast. Because he knows he's about to fuck up everybody. Yeah, I've done that too many times.
God, yeah. I remember watching Corey play Oblivion, and he would do that shit. He would just run around town to town fucking murdering everyone. God, that shit's so fun. That makes me want to do it now. I'm probably going to hop on Skyrim later tonight after I get off work.
Do a little murdering.
I have like 5 characters going, like, because I want to try every play style. So I have like 5 different characters I hop back and forth between whenever I get
Skyrim,
bored.
I always try to start out with like magic or something. Like, I want to try something different, and I always end up being sneaky archer.
Yeah, I have a mage that I use. I dual wield destruction spells, and it's so fucking fun. So I've got one of those. I've got a sneaky archer. I've got like a giant orc barbarian that only uses melee weapons.
You fucking racist.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Why does the orc barbarian have to be
fucking stereotype much?
Why can't the orc be the mage or the sneaky archer, you fucking racist?
I always do that too, though, to be honest. I always make my orc the guy who tries to do blunt or something.
I don't know. It just seems like the right thing to do, you know?
And I always don't like putting like armor on him because I like him running around just like
looking
jacked.
all buff and scary. Unless I get like really fucking cool armor, but I might put it on like a follower. I like putting like cool weapons, cool armor on my followers. I have a Khajiit that only does melee because they get a bonus to their melee attacks, and it's fucking fun. Like, I just run around punching and scratching people and, like, suplexing them. Like, because you can do a suplex in that game as a finishing move. You know, like, when it does a cinematic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sometimes it'll do, like, a fucking German suplex and, like, snap their neck. It's fucking amazing. I love it. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to be playing that tonight. Anyways, that's all I have. So, if you guys want to get a hold of us, you can comment on video or wherever this podcast is up at. You can email us at madchatpodcast@gmail.com or join the Discord. And with that, I bid you adieu.
Thanks for listening to Mad Chat with Chad and Matt. Contact us at madchatpodcast@gmail.com and join the Discord to be a part of the community.